And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. TikTok is not just for mindless scrolling and shenanigans. The app can also be used for education about disorders. Tonight, we're learning about a very popular user on the app, Bailyn Dupree. She has Tourette's, and she tells me she has no problem talking about the condition in front of 7.2 million followers now. You may hear some bleeps, but that's because that's her Tourette's. Take a look.
You're using your platform to bring awareness to Tourette syndrome.
Yes, sir.
Why did you think that was important?
I thought it was very important because from the beginning of me starting TikTok, I was followed around the Marshalls by one of my so-called classmates being made fun of because I went to high school and I started high school and I looked normal and I acted normal and I was able to be like everyone else. And then once everything went online for COVID, my life did a 180 and everyone thought that I was like not important, like not like a human being anymore. Like I was looked at differently. I was treated differently. I lost a lot of my friends. So it's very difficult for me not to bring awareness to it because I don't want to be treated differently because I am different. Like just because I have Tourette's doesn't change the fact that I'm still Bailyn, that I can still be myself, I can still do things, and I can be happy. So I feel like that the world needs to know that just because I have Tourette's, I can still be happy.
Absolutely. We see you having a good time on TikTok. So
yes,
we
yes,
can
I
tell
love
you
TikTok.
enjoy life. And Dana, for those who are not quite clear on what Tourette's is, explain that to us.
Your chicken strips.
Tourette syndrome is an involuntary movement disorder. So it can be vocal and motor tics. Basically, individuals with Tourette syndrome, they feel sensations in their body, and the sensation, we call them premonitory urges, that sensation will get stronger and stronger until they perform the particular tic to remove the sensation. So the best way for me to describe it to you is if I ask you not to blink your eyes, you can hold back for a little while, but eventually you'll feel a pressure burning in your eyes that will get so strong that you have to blink. And those are the types of sensations individuals with Tourette syndrome feel all over. Not only do they feel the sensation, they have to perform a particular tic to remove it, for it to go away. So it's an involuntary disorder.
And Dana, when does an individual typically develop that? Is it early on in childhood, teen, adults, or it just depends?
Excellent question. The average onset is usually 7 years old. It usually starts to manifest itself. And then it would typically peak around your teenage years, and then the tics should subside adult years. But everyone is different. And there are tic disorders actually where you can start to manifest tics as late as 17, 18 years old. So to answer your question, anytime, but the average is about 7, 8 years old.
Got it. And Bailyn, when you started and you noticed that you had Tourette syndrome, how did it change your life?
So for me, mine is a little different. I noticed that I had tics around the age 6 or 7, but I never told my parents about it because I thought it was like normal to do the things that I was doing. And then as I got older, they kind of like stopped. And then when I was around 15 or 16, I realized this isn't normal. Kids aren't doing this. And it progressed as I actually got older. As COVID hit, it got worse. And then it kind of subsided, and it just kind of goes through peaks and waves. But I'm sorry, what was the question again?
No, you answered it. You answered it already.
Okay.
So
okay.
At any point, do you feel like it's a burden to you, or now you have accepted it and you're like, this is a part of who I am, and if you don't like me, get off my TikTok?
Kind of a little bit of both.
Uh-huh.
So there's days where I get like upset and it like becomes like a little bit more difficult to deal with, especially going out in public, or for example, relationships. Dating is very hard. So that's something that's very hard for me to accept. But at the end of the day, it comes down to you either accept who I am or you don't. And it's not going to bother me either way. But from the very beginning, starting TikTok, I struggled with your mom. I struggled a lot with the comments, my mental health, realizing that I don't need other people's like affirmations on my life. Like, I don't need you to tell me like, oh, you're perfect just the way you are. I know I am. Like, I know I'm fine the way I am having Tourette's because I've accepted who I am. And at the very beginning, it was really hard to hear like all the backlash that I'm faking it, or you'd look so much prettier without it. Just simple comments like that were really hard to take in. But at the end of the day, my comments mean the most because I treat myself how I need to be treated. No one else does that. And I go to bed with my thoughts in my own head, not the ones from my TikTok comments telling me that I'd be better off without my condition, because it makes me who I am. Tourette's doesn't define Balin, but it is a part of my life that I have learned to deal with and accept for who I am. Oof.
That is a strong 19-year-old. We're going to continue with Balin's story in just a moment. Next, she shares how she's come to accept her condition. And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Tonight, we continue to share Balin Dupree's story. She is very open on TikTok about living with Tourette syndrome, but that wasn't always the case. She tells me the side effects of the disorder made her too embarrassed to look into even the mirror.
Tourette's is such a misunderstood disorder. A lot of my patients, they don't like to speak openly about it. They're very, again, misunderstood. And she's so brave to put herself out there and explain what exactly she's feeling. And you would be surprised, Isaiah. 1 in 5 school-age children experience some type of tic disorder. A simple tic, usually, but 1 in 5 during their school-age years can experience a tic. And there's not enough education and awareness on it. These tics are often misdiagnosed or not diagnosed. So for someone like Balin to come and speak about it and in such a short period of time have such a huge following, I'm so grateful for her and so proud. More and more people need to know about tic disorders.
And Dana, how important is it that parents who may have a child with Tourette's, that they don't get embarrassed and try to hide their child away? Because we know that happens.
Absolutely. I mean, I know celebrities who have tics that don't speak openly about it. And it's just heartbreaking, because if everyone was open, it would help so many others. When they see their child tic, they'll know, oh, that's a tic. It's just a tic, nothing about. Or that teacher who might be reprimanding a child for having behaviors, not knowing it's something that they can't help. Tics are a common comorbidity for autism. And yet, children with autism, they can't speak up for themselves. So they'll have a tic and sometimes, may not earn because they're not sitting quietly. And little does the teacher know, they cannot even help it. So yes, we need to bring awareness. It's very important.
And Balin, when you get emails, I was about to say, Dana, and age me, when you get letters, no one gets letters anymore. So Balin, when you get emails and responses from people who are now saying, you helped me, does that keep you going? And how do you feel getting those words from individuals who say, I have the same thing, and you have shown so much strength and bravery, you're helping me?
So it means a lot to me, because I don't actually see what I'm doing until I receive those comments. And me and Dana were talking on the phone the other day, and we ended up crying from how beautiful a moment was that I received from this boy in elementary school who sent a girl, like brought flowers to a girl who had the same thing I had, and was like, I know you're struggling and I know what you have, because there's a girl on TikTok who has what you have, and it's okay. I'll be there for you. And comments like that, it's so mind boggling, because it leaves me speechless, because I don't necessarily know the impact I have until I receive things like that. And instantly my life is made like that. It's like a calling, that I've received to help people like me. And I will always do that. I won't stop doing what I'm doing, because it has changed my life significantly. And I haven't even been on TikTok for a whole year yet. So it changes the way I think of myself when I see comments about parents DMing me and being like, what do I do if my son or daughter comes home with a significant other like you? I need advice. I want to know what's right. I want to make them feel comfortable. And I list things. I've had people DM me about other conditions and ways to help them, because I suffer with OCD, I suffer with bipolar, I suffer with anxiety, I suffer with a lot of other conditions, and I'm very open about it. Mm-hmm. I'm very, very open about all my issues and all my struggles, because I want to be the person to help the people that are too scared to do and bring awareness to things that I do, because I used to be that person. Last year in November was when I started TikTok, and I was way too embarrassed of who I was. I hated myself. I never looked in the mirror because I had too many facial tics, and I thought I was not pretty enough. I thought I wasn't good enough. And I never want to be that person. I never want to see that person ever again. And I never want someone to feel that way. It's definitely changed my life, and it makes my life a lot brighter to see the difference I've made.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us here on The Factor and for making a difference in so many people's lives and using your platform to bring awareness and advocacy out there. So thank you, Baylin, for coming on The Factor. And Dana, thank you for the great job and the advocacy you are doing as well.